Yeah, some of the questions from cyberspace would be approved before they're read out loud.
Okay.
So I just want to say, just get Kevin or myself or Ed or somebody to approve them. That was fantastic. Amazing to have Joel Silver here on Skype. It was really a great thing that he was able to participate with us today and put together a specialized presentation for us. So I bragged a little bit about Bill Schindler. Amazing this gentleman would come and join us today. No less from Sony Corporation that they would pick, or actually Robert Rodriguez would himself, thank you, would himself decide, after reading an article in Twice magazine, our industry's leading trade publication, he would decide to join us from headquarters in San Diego, California. Fly across the country like every good product manager, very high-level, visible position. He does the planning of the future products for LCD televisions at Sony USA. He communicates with Japan on how many he could sell, which models are the best, what are we looking for, what are we trying to do in the American market. Communicates directly. It's a very vital position, probably one of the most visible positions at Sony. He decided the best way to represent his line that he manages for the Sony is to come on a plane out here and bring with him a Sony senior video engineer as well. No good product manager should ever travel without one. So Robert is no slouch here, as you can see. Pretty high-level guy at Sony. He's brought Pablo with him, a senior engineer as well. We're going to do I'm just going to introduce a few people slowly, one at a time, rather than rattle off everybody that's involved in putting this together for us today. I'm sort of the producer of it. I was lucky enough to beg so well to some of the gods in the industry to bring them here today. And they've all participated because they know the value of doing this. Putting every single flat panel together for a careful evaluation, not looking at one panel and writing a report. Comparing them against each other. That's what's key and different about us today. And we were very scientific in the way we did it. When we ran our HDMI cables, everyone is the same length. Everyone is high-end, brand new, worthy, expensive 3D, full bandwidth, semi-Ethernet as well. We got all new switching equipment. Everything is 1.4, real broadband, the latest technologies. Everything is on an equal playing field. We have a brand new 20 amp circuit for the televisions. They're hooked together through into all of our video equipment as well. So everything is on the same circuit. It's got a $3,500 Richard Gray voltage regulation system that runs through it. So there's no anomalies that can happen on a TV. We were trying to be as pure to science as we could be. We're trying to do this in every single way, as properly and perfectly, scientifically as it could be done. We took it very seriously. We were so proud to see every year an increase in popularity from the trade of Twice magazine, residential systems, publishing articles about what we're doing. Some of the biggest manufacturers sending their top guys here. Having Joel Kane and Joel Silver caucus with us, endless, on how to peak the performance of these televisions, providing test signals that have never been available as tools for us before. I know I've said some of this before, but we put together a real terrific event. It gets better every year. People always say to me, oh, you say all your secrets. Well, I get better every year. And I don't mind the industry knowing what we're doing here. I actually want other reviewers to look at all products in all categories. Let's put audio receivers together, pit them up against each other, line them up, and let's hear them on high-end speakers and see that how they really perform. Set them up. Let's do that with speakers. Let's do it with mid-range televisions. I can only do my part. For me, I'm the purist. I'm doing the high-end part. But there's a need to do it all. One of my pet peeves, and I'm going to let this move on because last night we ran 4.5 hours. We have a budget of trying to get this into less than 4 hours, and we're adding a little bit more to our presentation. But one of my pet peeves is the different types of contrast ratio. I'm going to make this very, very brief. There's different ways of measuring it. Joel said all this very technically, and concisely I just want to say, between ANSI and on-off and dynamic and all the different ways within each contrast ratio of measuring it, all the different equipment. Does the manufacturer have room lights on at what? How much room light is on when they're testing it? How did they test it? There's no standards. It's really a shame. It's a shame that you would read on a data sheet from a manufacturer, from a major company, 8 million to 1 contrast ratio, and it measures the worst in the room, and the other companies say 50,000, and they measure a higher contrast ratio in the real world. It's the most important attribute of picture quality, and it's the only one that we give them a license to abuse it. So it's important for us to put these educational seminars on so the truth comes out. We hold the manufacturers to the real numbers, particularly black, peak white, contrast ratio, gamut, color accuracy, motion resolution, and we compare them and we challenge them every year. Make your TV better. Somebody's going to win next year. Somebody's winning this year. It could be you. So in moving on, I'm glad I did a somewhat proper introduction for Robert Rodriguez, because we're going to put you up after Amy.